I'm here with my co-host. Oh, music started again.
Hank, yeah, I forgot to tell you that I have my own theme music now. So,
It sounds like our same starting theme music.
yeah.
Or mistakes or something like that, might be there, or mislabeled things. That's what I'm focused on now. I'll be done with that. Then it's back to rewriting the white paper, all for this launch on Christmas Eve, right? It's actually Christmas Day in Fiji, but no one will be ahead of Fiji. So everyone else will be on the 24th when we're doing this we call soft launch with the people that are interested and have contacted me to be included. There's up to about 270 or something like that have joined the Telegram group. I add them one at a time. No link, just because I'll make sure that they're real people coming in. And then about 150 have said they'll be on the Zoom. They've registered. Probably, that's half the people don't register to just before it comes on. So that's
right.
Okay. But so we might end up with 300 people on the Zoom for this soft launch, and I'm going to go over the entire concept for everybody, see how they get it, and I'm feeling good all about that. Still on the personal front of paying some bills it's a little challenging at the moment. Had a couple small amounts come in, which are much appreciated. Believe me, this is day to day. How to get it to the next day, but I'm confident the bills will get paid. But I've got for me it's I'm trying to deal with the schedule of the weekend, heading into the holiday, and offices that may be closed. My wife's saying we'll be open on Saturday. Don't worry. So, okay. So I don't want to. I don't know what in the holidays. Especially this time of year, after the 15th of the month, I don't count on anything. Business wise, it's because it's people think something is some way, and then it's just not. And they closed early. Hey, it's an extended holiday because Monday ran into Tuesday, which is then so everyone left on Friday. We see at the beginning of the year. Yeah.
Good. I could do with some amazing. To be honest, I am absolutely exhausted with the mediocre politics, and I think the reason why she was dressed in black because it's the death blow to the cabal. Because think about it, they did the last good thing they'll ever do. They got the budget passed, right? And I think the budget passing, and then I think the Senate will pass it very quickly, and then Trump will sign off. And I think that will include humanitarian projects, and then we'll be able to actually, move money through the government. I think. I hope. That's my thought. That's just me, just my opinion. Kim hasn't said that to me or anything, but I'm hopeful of that. And I have not spoken to Kim. We did get somebody random posting a letter, alleged to be representing Manna. So I asked him about that, and I haven't got a response yet. But I just asked her though. So that was interesting. And I went to the Board of Education meeting here in the town I live in, and to talk to the superintendent of schools.
Okay.
And convinced her she's writing a letter, basically taking a stand to not vaccinate, saying that she believes in parental choice. That's the one issue that she agreed with. That's the one thing that she was able to agree with, but she was very hesitant because she's like, everything that she's hearing is that this is not going away. And I have news for Governor Cuomo and the entire group who thinks this is not going away. It is going to go away because we're coming from so many different directions right now. The group here in New York is starting to grow. They're getting more and more active. More and more schools are standing up and saying no. And you know what? And I'm about to give all those schools the tools to be able to say, the teeth to stand behind them and say, listen, this is a violation of everyone's constitutional rights, and we as the people will not stand for it anymore. You are not going to force vaccinate anyone. This is not Nazi Germany. Get over yourself. The United Nations is not coming in here to rule this state. So I'm excited about that, and I'm pissed off, to be quite honest with you. I'm really furious. I realize I spent a good part of my day mad at these people, But but I don't know. I just had a conversation right before this call. Oh, by the way, I haven't spoken to Kim. Everybody knows I have not spoken to Kim. I don't know exactly what's going on right now. I do expect that usually when that happens, she's doing something very, very important and getting ready to drop a bomb of some sort. I pray to God, to source, to the universe that, that before Christmas she drops it. I've been having flashbacks. 2 years ago when I first spoke to Kim, it was December 23rd, and where she broke my heart, right? And she told me that in that conversation how, because I thought that the interview was going to happen before Christmas. And she told me, she said, Stephen Mnuchin, who would be the one to be able to do it, she goes, is up in the Swiss Alps skiing. They all go up there, all the bankers go up there for like 2 or 3 weeks and just hang out this time of year, right? Laughing at us, we starve. I'm just like, yeah. And
So that's
anyways.
that's why you have this extra venom for Steve Mangina Mnuchin.
Oh, I hate Mnuchin. I mean, make no mistake. Even if he gets, just completely, undressed and just, put into a hole somewhere, I will not feel not an ounce of remorse for Steve Mnuchin. Just everything about him. I just hard. I have not seen my family in almost 5 years. No, not almost 5 years.
Yeah, me
Not
too.
able to see my family.
I was just talking with my daughter just before, about an hour ago, and she showed me this great little So listen, it was $1, right, to get that to happen. So it's a wonderful, wonderful type of app to have available. But anyway, I was just saying, but that's been 5 years since I've been back with my family in the U.S. I mean, I did go to Hawaii, last year, or the year before rather, and was able to, meet with my daughter there for a day. Yeah, but that was it. So, but I've been away. When I left, Lucas was deposited with me at 1 a.m. every night. And I had the 1 a.m. shift, right, and let them sleep.
That's great, yeah, that's nice.
And he'd just sleep with me
That's
on,
nice.
on the couch, right? So I'm just going through things, and I usually would be up until 3 o'clock, something like that. Anyway, so they'd come back and at that time and take him away. But that's then now he's 5 years old, so I
Wow, yeah.
So I feel like
Jeez.
I missed out, right?
Yeah, of course. It's tough, man.
But
Yeah, I know.
so it's a hard road, Obviously, I've got a new wife and all that as well. But so it's not all, but it's you do give up things, when you take a path. I've been since I've been thinking about this the Tesla plan, the look using the Project Looking Glass for them to manipulate what the future is like and what timeline we're on, and then how that tied into the Mandela effect. And I say, I've been thinking, the actual path divergence, that I took, right, that brought me on this path. It is a completely different trajectory than what I was doing, right? It was, yeah, and then I'm on the GCR, bandwagon. Before I even knew what the GCR name was. Yeah, really, it was just about the historical bonds, but then learning all about really more about what the money system was about, really how it worked, figuring out, the PPP system, the trading platform systems, how that,
Yeah, all the private placement platform stuff.
yeah,
Yeah, it's crazy, really, isn't it? Look at all this. You know, Dan, I'm grateful. I'm very, very grateful that we ended up finding each other, and I'm sure that was part of Tesla's plan too. Because in this whole mixed up, crazy game, right? There's all these people that are still. I think a lot of them they're knowingly ignorant at this point, right? They know it's not going to happen, but they've just invested so much time they don't want to give it up. And it's just to the point where it's just painful. And I have cycled through thousands of people, right? I've had lots of I had groups and chat rooms and all types of things, and then everybody lost faith because they all thought I went over to the dark side, all this stuff, And I'm like, man, look, I'm trying to lead y'all out of this right now, but I got to tell you, I'm cracking up. I can't stop laughing about this call we had. Michelle Walker and I we were talking about. She was talking about this one person that she was suspicious of who suddenly wanted to talk to me. Right? Like, oh, okay. So let's call him. Right now. I do this to people all the time, right? Like, I'll be on the phone with somebody, they mention something, I'll have them call that person right that second, right? Yeah. Because I want to know if they're real. Because if you catch somebody in that moment, and if they're having a real experience, positive or negative, or have something to offer, right, they'll have it then, right?
It's not going to be scripted.
Right. It's not going to be scripted. Right? They'll be able to plan their call. So we call up, and the individual, puts us on the phone with this other person. Now, allegedly, it was this guy's daughter, which we didn't even know he had a daughter. And then on the call, all of a sudden, so we weren't sure if the woman there was his daughter. And then she had a 17-year-old daughter, but we asked her how old she was. And she stumbled. She's going to be, and then he goes, she's 17, right? And then, it was supposed to be his daughter, we thought, is what he said, right? And then he's like, well, there's no paperwork on the girl, and in the way he's referring to her, like, wait, is this your daughter? We're so confused, right?
Right.
But then my favorite, this call was so filled with cabal mastery, right? Like, I pictured them 1950s dragnet sitting around with those big rotary phones and trying to record it with the big wheels.
Yeah, right. The tape recorders, yeah.
But at one point. It was there was so many, here's a cabal technique, by the way. Anybody, if you're ever trying to help somebody and you go to help them and they start telling you just thousands of details that constantly go on so that no logical person can connect all the pieces, right? And they just keep talking, that's a sure sign. And they never really show any emotion, right? Because they're making the story up as they go. This is a cabal trick. Many times I
thought that was called lying.
What's that?
I thought that was called lying.
Oh yeah, it's lying, of course, but it's cabal storytelling. The cabal, they think if I just keep telling you lots of details, right? And so it
must be true.
One of the stories was she goes, and then he showed me a picture, and it was a limousine, and there was 3 people there, and in front of the car was Hillary Clinton, and he said he worked for the shadow government.
Dun, dun, dun.
He did not say that. He did not say he worked for the shadow government. It was so funny to me. I don't know.
He worked for the shadow government. Oh my goodness.
I'm here for the shadow government, right? And then, they know this, right? They've constantly been trying to trip me up with these things for years, right? So, they know better than to just kind of wing it with me, right? Because they're really easy to catch if it's a cocky, right? So they know the plan. So I caught them off guard, right? Mm-hmm. So then, so I'm thinking to myself, now they know that we pick up that if they're not emotional at all, right? You're talking about your daughter. So all of a sudden, the call's over. Okay, well, all right. I said, okay, send me all the names and stuff. I'll see. Maybe I'll track it down. But I'm basically like, okay, come on. And all of a sudden, the woman gets real emotional, starts crying. She's like, I'm just afraid. And going to that church, like, did you kind of set yourself up to have your child trafficked? And then she started crying, and I just couldn't even take it seriously. Maybe I'm a jerk. I don't know, but I was basically okay.
I'm not really, with. I'm not really seeing like traps laid out by the cabal members, but I've experienced definitely some things where they try to basically have someone handle me, right? And I knew it, right? And it was so I just had fun with it. But normally I do see a lot of people, because I'm dealing in the cryptocurrency, where people are being taken advantage of by scammers, right? They put all sorts of things together, and then they'll use they'll include me in a group, right? I have no idea, because I get added to groups all the time, my list is so big. I could turn it off, but then people can't add me at all. That I have to go back and forth. But then they'll try and get legitimacy, right? Using my name, my likeness, and they'll say they'll make me an admin of the group, right? And of course, I've never been in the group. People will say, "Hey, I see that you have your new group here," and I said, "No, I don't even know what that group is." Right? But I lay out for them. I lay out some very telltale, rules for people, and I make up to say this is how you can tell if they're trying to pull one over on you, right? So I say here, ask this first question. If there's an answer to this one, then you can move to the second. If there's no answer to this one, then you know that they're probably just trying to scam you. So with the cabal members, what are they trying to get you to do though? I mean, what is the purpose in them trying to get you engaged on, with this particular?
Oh, they're trying to get me to waste my time, so I get away from tracking down things that matter. They want to get me involved with something that's fraudulent, right? It's the same thing that was going on with what's that guy's name there, Evil Danger, and it's like they're trying to get me implicated in it somehow, like my association with this, right? I mean, that's kind of stuff they do all the time. I know the game, like. I'm underwhelmed by it. It's like, I've, for the most part, like I listen to these guys and I listen to what they're saying but I've done it enough times now. When I had no experience, like they would be trying to rope me into that. I got recruited into all types of things. They were always trying to get me to, be the representative. The CIA directly wanted me to be the representative, and they were going to give me all this direct intel from Wells Fargo. So, I'd be the face for the RV. I'm like, come on. I'm like, get out of here. Like, you think I want your BS, fake RV intel? I mean, that was years ago, but I'm not, I'm so exhausted with all these things. Not exhausted. Actually, I'm not even exhausted. I'm exhilarated and happy that we're doing something about it,
Right.
And, but I'm just like, come on. Like, really? Like, this is what you think is going to get us right now? I mean, like, send us your A-team, man. Like, give it your best shot here. You're closing the thing down.
Yeah. Well, at this point, we're so far ahead. I was thinking, can Tesla, like, is he's like viewing the future? Is he not tuning into front lines right now? Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder. Yeah. Back then, he saw it all happen.
It's a signal, right? So it's something that we're repeating. It's because of the repeated pattern. It gains strength throughout time.
Sure.
Right. So. And with their actions, like against you, like right, that what they're trying to do, that shows the energy they're putting into it as well, right? And that also makes it more easy to track over time. Yeah. If you can pick up on what I'm saying there, it's because when we're the frequencies that we're generating, are counter to what they need to have happen. Right? So the more we do this, the more they have it's going to resonate, and they're going to be affected by it. So
Yeah.
So that's why it's this I don't I it's a big commitment to get this stuff going every day, right?
Oh no, yeah.
Pretty much we've been on every day, at least. I don't know. Did we miss one day, or one of us didn't go?
I think I missed. I think we both missed one day, but I think you've been at least on there. And even on that day, I was live somewhere.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If you were live somewhere, then I think we haven't missed a day.
I think that counts. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it counts.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's whether I had internet service one day or not, right? And that was going to cause the issue, right? But you were on, there's a couple of those things. But even the effort to try to get on, right, is also part of it, right?
Oh yeah, we had Michelle Walker set up the Lawful America Facebook. She got up to 4 members, and they said you posted too much. Yeah, you're right. We have posted too much because too much truth dropping bombs on your head right now.
Right.
So we got letters out to all of the heads of the every state's Department of Education in the whole nation has been notified. Notify the militias. We need to notify the media, because all of these people were putting on notice that the people are calling grand juries, and they are going to be held accountable. And that is a glorious thing.
Yes.
Think about it. That every person, however we get this out, they can keep trying to bury it. I went to a Board of Education meeting tonight, and they're gonna write the letter to the governor to say, hey, no, we're not going to take away this right out of the parents. And so I was so glad to be there, and I handed the letter to the superintendent, and I was like, I gave it to her, and I'm like, here, I'll be back tomorrow to bring you more evidence to support you to make that decision, because she's not convicted enough, right, in it. She did it because of pressure we put on her. So I'm going to make sure she has all the evidence she needs to feel confident that you have a constitutional right. There is no emergency. The emergency is that you have the United Nations deep state cabal that's trying to take over our country, and we're letting them. The emergency is apathy, is ignorance, right? So we got to break that open. Now, so far we've had moderate success doing it this way, but you know what? I'm looking for, I like this platform Parler, although I haven't really used it. But we just got to keep finding a way. We're just got to find a way. And I really want Kim to just give us a pathway. I don't want them to be able to block us at all.
Right.
I'm like, so to interrupt that.
The key integrated monetary system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's drop the key
the key integrated internet, management system or monitoring system. Yeah.
Right. Or whatever it is, I'm sure she's got it in the, lined up. And I'm hoping that's the Christmas gift. Make it happen. So we shall see. We shall see.
I didn't want to let loose, because there are all this I have the best memories of Christmas my whole life, right? It was only in about a 5-year period or so, maybe 10 years, where people were really bagging on Christmas, and they were saying happy holidays, not Christmas, and all this kind of stuff. So I'm just wondering if we just make sure that we try and reclaim these things, right? We don't let them claim them. Right? It's not theirs. It belongs to everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, like, listen, a triangle is not an evil symbol. You know, a buck, right, is not an evil symbol. They're evil people. They're evil.
Right.
They use symbolism. The symbol itself is not evil. You know, it's like,
right.
It's like all this stuff. It's like, let's reclaim humanity, period, right? Like, I can't use a triangle now in any image because, you know, I'm going to get attacked by people who think I'm Illuminati.
Oh yeah. So now on my Telegram, I like using stickers because, you know, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Right? So I can send a sticker, and it keeps my typing really short. So I've been using these Santa Claus stickers, right? And one of them is the Santa Claus doing this A-OK symbol, right, with his fingers, you know, in the symbol. Right? Now, of course, everyone's like, oh, now you're using a satanic symbol, right, of the eye, right, because it's the OK.
Gosh, stop it. Come out from your mom's basement, relax. Like, you give all other conspiracy realists a bad name, right? Like, I mean, it's just so...
Yeah, but this is the kind of thing that we have to, you know, make sure that, you know, they can say whatever they want, but doesn't mean we have to change what we're our expression of what that symbol is. So that's why, you know, I said, you know, I'll do this launch for this new system on Christmas because, you know, it has to do with the Kringle community, right? So the mascot of this, or you know, has been Kris Kringle, aka Santa Claus. Right, so about 2 years ago, it was dropped, you know, from the system, right? Because, you know, I said, well, there's a lot of you know, people in other religions that are not appreciative of, you know, just, you know, they can't appreciate getting gifts.
Yeah, I know. Like, you know what? In the darkest season, right, in the darkest part of the year, when finally, you know, the days start, like at 21st after, right? The days start to get short or longer again, right? Like you actually start getting more sun.
Right.
So right now it's so dark in New York. I've never experienced anything like it. It feels like, like the other day, it was dark at like 4:05 in the afternoon, and at 7:30 a.m. the next morning when I was taking my kids to school, it was still dark. I was like, what just happened? Like, where did the sun go? You know.
Well, it's New York, you know, that's one of the places the cabal has claimed, so darkness has descended.
But it's beautiful. Like New York City, oh my gosh, it's magic in New York right now. You walk through the city and it's just, you know, beautiful lights. I love that, you know. It's so much fun. So.
Yeah, that's one of the other things, you know, putting up the holiday lights, you know, for all the Christmas lights. I love doing that.
Oh, you know, my religion for like 20 years was always dogging, like we didn't celebrate holidays, so I didn't celebrate any holidays, you know, for a long time. And you know, and I regret that. I mean, you know, I made a lot of extreme decisions, as you can imagine, a little extreme. And you know, and now over the past 3 years or so, I've veered away from that to be like, you know, it's people that make things evil, or not even people. It's just these beings, like, you know, this evil that just infiltrates things.
Right.
But the holiday's not evil. You know, it's like it is what you make of it. You know. So, I am very hopeful though. It's my dream right now. This is my dream that we're able to right the ship. And magic happens, and you know what? And somehow the budget gets passed. The budget already got passed, it looks like, and then, you know, Trump's being impeached, which I think is the best thing that could possibly happen, because they have shown their ass in this. They have just shown what a debacle they are.
Right.
You know, every possible horrible thing they could do, they violated so many parts of the Constitution. It is an absolute sham. And I thought they were gonna like drag it out and like make all this stuff go on and really like
Yeah,
slam it.
I was kind of mixed feelings about it, right? Because I was thinking, well, I really want them to, bring out the trial and then try all of the Democrats really and make it a Democrat trial. That's really what I was hoping for, right? But
Right.
all the things, get Biden's up there and I said, well, it's, you know, where's the
So
money? Well, Giuliani, which is interesting enough, he's active, right? But he's also saying that there's 7.4 billion missing, right? So now
yeah.
that's 7.4 billion missing. It's not only just about this 1 billion. Where is that money? This is U.S. taxpayer money, right? That's you know uh, that's the way that that this money makes it back into the hands of the politicians, right? They put it out as foreign aid. So now,
Yeah.
and they put their family members. So we're going to see, Romney from the Republican side, right? That's going to be get caught up in this. We're going to see other senators, and that all going to be tied up into it. And this is why they're fighting so hard. This is why I think the impeachment is all about is really to distract from the other things that are bringing out in the other reports that are coming out. So there's also
Well, here's my theory, right? So they fought the budget, right? For the past 2 years, I can tell you without the absolutely that the budget has been delayed because Kim will not bring money in for the budget. She's been paying salaries and really just base salaries for people that need it, just groups that are working with her or something like that, I mean, there's more, like people, just normal people that are innocent, right? So she's been doing that. So she's been funding the government, right? But when you want to actually have a budget, you have to bring in real money. So all they've been doing is spending money that goes into the void and then gets returned to the trust or never is allowed back into the system. So think of all the ways they're hemorrhaging money, right, for years now. So in this, Steve Mnuchin was told, you're the chosen one, right? So he believed it, right? So he was acting like the chosen one does, right? When you get that, like when Nancy Pelosi was appointed the Black Dragon, she was really empowered, right? She was making all types of accusations, really bold and angry, and you could tell she was giving orders, right? She was planning an assassination of the president. I mean, that's crazy stuff, right?
right.
So they get very empowered by this stuff, right? They think they rule the world, right? Like I can take charge of it, but they're not leaders, though, right? They're bullies, but they're not leaders.
Right.
So what I can tell you that every time the budget would get pushed, we were on the verge of something going through, and if they just would have done what they said they do, they would have just held up their side of the bargain, we wouldn't be here.
Right.
People would be funded. The government would have been funded. It could be a different world. But it always involved giving up control. So if you look at what Kim did on her end, she had to make it so there was something more important than control, to where it's so obvious they're never going to have control. Then now the narrative is shifted. Now their focus is, wait, we might go to jail, right? If they have this impeachment trial, and it goes, so I think the reason why Mitch McConnell is going to kick it out so quick is because they approved the budget. I think they approved the budget at the last minute so Mitch McConnell would kick it out. Because if he drags it out, then they're all going to jail.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I get it. That's an interesting thought.
So, so instead, he's just going to kick it out. And that's part of the deal because they approved the budget. That's my theory. I'm sticking to it. So now that they approved the budget, that allows all types of things because Mitch McConnell said all the projects, he said all the programs and projects that President Trump wanted are in there. How did that happen?
Right.
How did everything President Trump wanted get in there? That's amazing.
They
have not even come close to that.
I know that was very odd to me to hear that they were going to that Trump got all of the things that he wanted in there, and I was thinking, and not thinking too deeply, but I said, okay, Nancy Pelosi had to, change the narrative from do nothing Democrats, right?
Right.
So she had to get USMCA done, and then she gets the budgets done, and there's like $1.5 billion in there for the wall. $1.5 million in there for the wall. There's also 40 million in there for studying gun violence. All right, so that's the. Why you need 40 million?
They should throw some money in there to study vaccines. Yeah,
You got to
try to justify why you have it.
Yeah, that's just another gun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so.
But I think even Nancy. Oh,
Yes.
who's that? I'll make sure it's not Lisa or Sid telling me that my voice sounds like Satan. So I think it is Lisa. What's up, Lisa?
Hello,
Lisa?
Lisa.
I'm sorry. I was logged in as you accidentally.
It's okay. What's up?
Nothing. I was just coming to see if you rebooted your computer yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I did. Thanks. Yeah. Lisa and I were doing a show today, and
I'm really calling to see if Dan will let me come on his show, since you won't do a show with me anymore.
I really tried. We're so busy right now. So Lisa, I really want to do a show today. We're Speak Up and Tag Lisa. We go to do a show, and while we're doing the show, it's just a comedy of errors, right? Like all of a sudden, like Lisa's like, oh, you're starting to break up. Like it look like I'm AI, right? And all of a sudden, my whole camera goes back like perfectly on cue.
Oh, he falls down the chair first, and then everything, and then he gets back up, and then he does it again. It's hysterical. I actually have it on video. It's really funny. So
Well, that's
really
good. We have a bloopers reel.
Allow me to come on. I actually have it. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Let me come on a show since Tank won't do shows with me anymore.
Yeah.
And then
I'm happy to have you on.
Oh, hold on. I'm going to boot my computer and call you back. And it's been like 12 hours. So I was holding my breath and I just passed out. So I just called to ask if Dan would have me.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I can't. There's not enough hours in the day. I cannot. We're so busy right now. And I'm trying to gather militia. I'm trying to gather.
It's okay. It's okay, Lisa. I have time for you.
What did Dan say?
I said I have time for you.
All I heard was the sound of kissing the lips against someone's ass. That's all I heard.
Hey, that works for me.
Let's say that with colonics, it's getting very weird.
Oh, that was great. I didn't call to interrupt. I'll let you guys go.
You didn't call to interrupt?
My co-host from America.
I'm not. Well, he doesn't have time for me, Dan. He can get back to me. He can circle around when he has time, right?
That's all right. We'll just start a whole. We'll just start a whole new show. It's okay.
I'll just come on and bug you guys.
Yeah, you can't leave now, though. Once you're on, you're on.
Oh. Oops, I can't hear you, Tank. I'm kidding. You're going fuzzy. No, I'm kidding. No, I'll stay on for you. I just watched a great movie on Netflix, so.
Oh, what was
We had such good news to talk about today, too. I totally forgot about that. There's so much stuff going on.
Which part? There's so much.
I don't know. That's your job.
You meant something specific. See, Dan, he just works me to the bone here.
Yeah.
You wouldn't do that, would you?
Oh, well, no, I would. No, that's it.
Yes, he would.
Yes, I would.
There's all kinds of great news. I just can't believe the whole impeachment thing. I know you guys were talking about that, but it blows my mind that what they're doing. Just what they said yesterday when they were actually, or maybe this morning, I don't know what day it is, when they were saying that Trump committed all these crimes. Pathetic. No.
Wow, that was great. See, everybody has theme music now, Dan.
That's it.
That's what music?
Theme music.
Theme music. Yeah, I'm lining up our new theme music for the new show.
Oh, okay. All right. Good. We got to name our new show, Dan. We don't have to tell Tank about it. We can just come on air whenever we want.
No, I know
He
what the
doesn't have
name. The name is Without Tank.
What's it called?
Without Tank.
Without tank. It's called Empty Tank.
Empty Tank. Oh, that's even better. Thank you. We'll use that.
Oh, and then I accidentally logged in as you because I was downloading Zoom stuff earlier, and I didn't realize I was still logged in. So there's two of us here.
Oh. Yeah, I noticed. I was freaked out for a minute because you didn't answer. I was like, wait, is this me? Are you calling from inside the house?
Well, I had YouTube on, so I was hearing like the delayed version. So I'm like, they don't hear me, and then it was just weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm here.
Yeah, if you listen to the delayed version, yeah, it's a little I would say disjointing. I don't know. You gotta like, oh wait a minute, I'm that was already happening.
Yeah, it makes you kind of crazy when you in my headphones. I hear you guys talking, but then I hear the delayed version. It's just kind of weird.
Yeah. So since you don't have anything about the news, I mean,
I have tons of news.
Oh, you do?
Okay. Did you guys? This is really bad, but a couple days ago, Robert De Niro was on The View.
Yeah, I heard him.
Really. Did you see that? It was so awful.
Yeah, it's not. I don't really call that news.
He was trashing Trump so bad, and he
know.
said, "If my children were like Trump's children, I would disown them."
I highly doubt that because he's probably going to need their money.
I think so too.
Yeah, because
it was so bad. I mean, we should play it. It's bad, but it's just what he said was just so backwards.
You know, I would actually disagree that we don't need to show that because I don't even, I heard like, the first 60 seconds. I said, okay, that's enough of him. Literally, there's nothing that he's going to say that I know is going to be meaningful, right? It's just going to be, him swearing about Trump. It's nothing new. Now, I heard he didn't swear this time.
So backwards, like so off, right?
Yeah.
Well, you know what's weird? Robert De Niro actually has an autistic child because of vaccine. Right?
Well,
and him and Trump are friends.
That's what you said to me like a month or two ago. And then, do you think it's all just part of the plan? I mean, what's going on?
When I say friends, I mean, I don't know what that means in that world. I mean, he was friends with Donald Trump, the New Yorker billionaire. I don't know if he's friends with Donald Trump, the president, but I got this. This guy who rides around. Go ahead, man.
I said anything that I see that's coming out of Hollywood, there is nothing different. They're coming out as though they're directing the personal connection to the people and they're giving their heartfelt opinion about things. It's 100% scripted.
Oh, it's terrible.
So it's nothing.
Terrible.
If he might be friends with Trump and all the rest of it, he may be on Trump's side, but he's got his script to follow. He's an actor, and this is just another show. So
yep, I totally agree.
So a lot of that
it almost had to be scripted. It was that off, right?
Yeah. So it doesn't. Obviously these things don't make any logical sense, right? Because their side has nothing behind it right now. They're so disproven everything they were doing. Hey, what are you making all that noise for, Tank?
Sorry.
Eating some cereal, or is that potato chips?
I'm on a very strict diet, but I still haven't got the timing down, so I forgot to eat. I'm suddenly starving.
What is your diet? What are you eating?
I just cut out all grains. I just eat vegetables and eggs and.
That sounded like a cereal bag. I don't know.
It was cauliflower, frozen cauliflower. Yeah. So.
Well, that's really crunchy, but okay.
Yeah, Vegas. So, sorry about that.
Okay, you were saying that somebody was driving around.
Oh yeah, I got this crazy guy who drives around a red truck, right? And he's always and like every day he puts like his new thing on there from like some kind of common law, habeas corpus, or how they're breaking the law, and how Dan.
Walking to New York.
Finally escaped the siren. So, No, but he's always like going off on this. He's the one who actually gave me, Robert De Niro's address. Told me I could send him a letter and stuff.
Yeah, you did have that. I think you sent it to us. So yeah. Well, if Robert De Niro was my friend, I wouldn't need any enemies. I'll tell you. People talk like that about me. Right?
I know. So he was just running his mouth about Trump. Huh? That's
really bad. Yeah.
It's so weird. It's like, why are people disgusted by Trump having a conversation, which obviously was fine, versus a scathing threat to a world leader made by Biden? I mean, is it?
Yeah.
I just don't
It's
get
a deterrent. I also think that, like what Dan said, maybe it is all part of a script, because he also said, he goes, we have to play this impeachment out and take our chances.
Wow.
Yeah.
He said that too. So I thought, maybe it is just a script, right?
They should take their chances, yeah. Because at the end, what's going to happen? We're going to rise up with pitchforks and run you off the planet because you're awful people. Like, if I don't want to see Whoopi Goldberg or that other crazy redhead chick. I don't want to see them speak ever again. They are awful human beings.
Oh, yes. Joy Behar, I think you're talking
Joy
about.
Behar.
Yeah. Oh, she is awful.
Worse. I mean, they're just bad people. I mean, they're just filled with just malicious, mean-spirited, nasty comments. And that's something that in the U.S.
And
has been
lies.
applauded. Yeah, lies. It's not even based on any kind of facts. I mean, if you want facts, read that letter that Trump wrote. Oh my gosh. He was breaking hearts across the world when that thing was so true. It was amazing.
Well, you were going to read it to me today, but it didn't happen.
That was the plan. I thought, hey, somebody needs to read the whole thing as well. But I think it would have been the Satan voice that we love so much.
Yeah, it's okay. I'll read it to Dan tomorrow. I'm kidding.
Oh, okay.
I think after this, I'm going to read it.
Just giving you a hard time.
Well,
So today's been a very silly day. So.
It has. I'll send you the bloopers. It's actually pretty funny. Of Tank falling off his chair twice.
Gameless. It's okay.
Yes. So I'm gonna show something on the screen here. Let me share it with you so you can see it as well.
Thank you.
Now, this is basically a list of basically the number of judges that are in the federal court system. So, because they got through another 13 judges today, 15 yesterday, so they're up to 170, some judges that Trump has appointed. And in the federal court system, you want to basically say there's only 875 seats, right, that are actually can be active, excluding the federal magistrates. But so that's, if Trump has already appointed 170 of them, that's a quarter of them. Not quite, but it's probably about 20%. And so we're gonna. Because I'm just curious how much of an impact this is going to be, all these judges that he's appointing. And the reason that he's able to appoint these now is because the Democrats, when Obama was in office, changed the rules so that they could basically do this filibuster type activity and basically push them all through at one time. The Democrats did it against the Republicans. And Mitch McConnell said back then, it's like, if you change these rules, that means we're going to be able to flip it around and do it against
So it's backfiring on them.
So this is the reason why they can push these through in such big numbers now. And I don't know when it's going to stop, but if we're going to see that out of, well, they're saying here that there's a total of approximately 1,800, right, that are in the system, but only 875 seats. So that means that they have more than like 2 per seat. I guess they trade them out. Some go they're rotating them or whatever while the judges go off on their
Extended, expensive vacations.
yeah. I was trying to think of island
Well-
vacations or underground facility vacations or whatever.
Well, it'd be
I-
interesting to see. Go ahead, Tink.
No, I want to see if they've appointed any judges to the 16th Circuit, where in Chicago, outside of Chicago,
Yeah.
where Kierakowski is, Judge James Dolan. I mean, don't you have to remove judges too? So,
Yeah, I don't know. I think on the federal side, I think they just retire. Once they're appointed, they're there, unless they retire, or they're removed for some reason.
It'd be interesting to see how many which side of the fence they were on prior to retiring, right?
Right.
So
Yeah, that-
how many were already Republican versus Democrat before Trump started appointing them?
Right. Well, it's been each of the presidents were doing about 150 their whole entire term of 8 years. All right. So he's 180 right now and going strong, and they're going to keep pushing them through. Probably a whole another year of it. The way it looks. I mean, the way it seems like they're shaping this thing up is they're going to be draining the swamp all the way up until election time, and then all these trials and everything will happen after Trump's in, right? When after he's lined everything up. So all this is the setup, right? And the Democrats are going to basically we're going to have to deal with this extended time for another 2 years at least, because after he's elected, they're going to then start all of this stuff to clean them out.
Do you think they'll be around to even do that, Dan?
What do you mean? Who will be around? The Democrats?
The Democratic Party will be strong enough to even try to do a comeback.
After this, no. I think
No, okay.
I think
After he's elected again.
after
they
he's
won't.
elected and they all go to jail. Or-
Right. Yeah, they
and
won't be
and
around.
Republicans.
They won't
that-
exist.
And Republicans. But the Republican Party will be able to be salvaged. If Tulsi Gabbard right now took hold of the Democratic Party, okay, and everybody switched their support to her, everyone left Nancy Pelosi, right, and they went under Tulsi, she could save the Democratic Party. Not to say the people in it, but the party. But yeah, I don't see it happening that way. I think that they're so far gone, they're so far in the tank. That was a good timing on that cue.
Our team believes that she's like not real. She's a ploy, but we'll see. I mean,
No,
I
think,
actually like her.
No, I
She's
think
she has the most common sense of any Democrat I've seen.
sure she's an old school Democrat. She's a Kennedy Democrat, right? I mean, these labels of Democrat Republican really mean nothing at this point, right? What I grew up thinking the sides were, for me, meant one side's for big government, right? It wants to take care of all the people by taking money from people and spreading it out. And the other side is just into business. I don't think it has anything to do with that anymore. It's literally now patriots against communists.
well, it is actually Republicans. It's Republicans in the sense of we live in a republic. And Republicans is kind of synonymous with Americans, right? Because we live in, a constitutional republic.
Yeah.
Then you have, the pre-socialist Democrats, or current socialist Democrats.
Well, I have an interesting, I always try and look into words and what they mean, and so I have things going on. So what does the word republic mean, right? You had a public, it went away, and then it came back again, so it's republic.
Yeah, you nailed it. Leads dictionaries. yeah.
So what
Let me
I
look
mean,
that
where did I mean, it's fine to say what it means, but where did it come from is more about what I'm thinking about. It's like its root words, so about a democracy and a republic. What is the difference, right? So that's why I keep hearing them all say he's affecting our democracy, because the democracy is the problem, right? You know.
Yeah.
And then, I remember in school, I went from Pennsylvania high school to a California high school, and the California high school was 2 years behind, and I was looking at in the history class, and I remember they were going over this, and they kept saying we're in a democracy. I said no, we're in a republic. Right? And they were getting upset with me. It's like,
I found the word.
Yes.
The word republic comes from the Latin language words res publica, which means a public thing. For example, the United States is a republic and India is a republic. North Korea and Cuba are also called republics. If that makes any sense, but
so it's also the Republic of the Philippines, and
The republic is representative. It's representative government by the public. In other words, it's supposed to be represented by the people.
Yeah.
And in that, the people have unalienable rights that cannot be taken away.
Yeah. So it's our.
So the government and so the government draws its power from the government.
So it could be.
I love when you say that.
So it could be double P. So it could be REPP. So representatives of rep public.
Well, res, R-E-S, publica, which is in Spanish, it just means a public, it's just, in parentheses, public thing. So it's just...
Don't be bringing any foreign languages into this.
You know, Dan, you gotta be versatile. Come on.
That's why I said, I'm just looking for the
Open
representative. My mind is open to all mathematics. So
I know, I'm just kidding.
So that's the language. Put it into a program.
Yep.
All right. So the other thing that was, apparently, interesting, at least for like the side of what Schumer is trying to do, is bring these witnesses up. So he's not only does he want to bring witnesses, but he's also saying that it is the responsibility given by the Constitution to the Senate to do the impeachment, which is not what it says, right?
Fail.
It's the responsibility of the House of Representatives to do the impeachment. And that's why Mitch McConnell came back around and he said, no, that's not what it says. It basically says it's the House. And if they don't have time to call these witnesses because they're trying to meet some kind of deadline or whatever it is, it's their problem. They present us garbage. He's going to basically treat it as such, right? So they shouldn't be voting on it. But if you said they've already voted, do you know what the vote was?
Well, I think the House voted to bring it to the Senate. Because I guess that's really where it's going to end. Because when it gets to the Senate, Mitch McConnell basically said he's going to bring it up.
But they did the vote, right? On the 2 articles of impeachment. They didn't slip in a 3rd article of impeachment, and they voted.
I'm not sure. Actually, I heard that earlier.
I think it was just 2.
Well, I know there was just 2, but I heard yesterday that they were going to try and put in a 3rd one about wire fraud, because the first 2 are not crimes. So there's no high crime or misdemeanor.
A legitimate crime, yeah.
Yeah, so no, they're not crimes. It's not legitimate or not. They're just not a crime, right? It's kind of like quid pro quo. If they convicted him on quid pro quo, that's not a crime. If they said bribery, that is a crime.
Right.
But these other things are definitely not crimes. So what is he being impeached for?
Nothing. He's being impeached. It's so funny. It's abuse of power, right? Is the one, not a crime. There's no such thing.
Right, no such thing.
And then what's the second one? I don't even.
Right.
Three news people here. We're doing so. It's misuse of power and something to do with Ukraine.
Oh, I know what it is. This was another good one. Defying Congress.
Oh,
define
obstruction of Congress.
obstruction of Congress.
So there wasn't even a crime until that's not even a crime. But one of the things they're impeaching him for is what he did while they were trying to impeach him.
Yeah. Yep.
And Nancy Pelosi wrote a letter. Didn't write it. Oh, she actually said that his 6-page bitter personal attack on her was really sick. Was her response to his 6? She hasn't read it. She knows the essence of it though.
You know what? Isn't she from California?
Yes.
So like maybe she's just a surfer and she means like sick. Like it was awesome. And I agree. You know?
He's from San Francisco, so surfing there is.
Oh, they don't surf up there.
Yeah, there's sharks there. So I wish she would go surfing in San Francisco really soon.
Well, that should
in
be
this cold weather. The sharks would gobble her up.
No. The other way around. She'd gobble them up.
She got the sharks on this gal.
Wow.
At least that's what her daughter says.
That's true. She did.
Yeah, her daughter said you don't cross her mother or something like that because anyway.
Oh yeah, that's right. She's
You'll
like,
be dead before you realize, or she'll bite your head off and realize you're dead before you're. I mean, when you realize you're bleeding or something.
Yeah,
like
something
that.
like that. Oh, you got it right. You wouldn't. You wouldn't even realize you were bleeding. Right.
The one thing you know about Nancy Pelosi that you can take to the bank is her dementia will not have any impact on her ability to be the Speaker of the House. So we have that going for her.
But I think her drunkenness might. What do you think?
I think her eating of children might have something like that.
I don't mean to laugh. That's not funny, but just...
No, but yeah, it's crazy. It's also crazy. You have to laugh at this. It's like, come on, how is this where we live?
I would cry all day if I didn't laugh because this is pretty dark, twisted stuff. So.
You know what? It's hilarious watching them look like fools. And, you know, if they fade out and we get funded and we're allowed to go out and fund people and restore a lawful government and restore the dignity of parents who've lost their children and children who've been abused, and we can go out and get rid of, stop poisoning our water, stop poisoning, everyone with vaccines, and just live in an incredible planet that we create. You know what? Like, they can fade off into obscurity and mediocrity, and they can get jobs that they're more qualified to do, like pump gas and and work as full-time, which those are fine jobs.
I think shark bait is a good one.
Yeah, I mean, they can do that too. I mean, if they want to, they can sell their organs and, but I would not be upset if, they just decided to leave the planet. It's fine.
I wouldn't miss them. I'd actually have a going away party. I would invite them. We would just party on their behalf, the fact that they're gone.
No, I wouldn't invite them.
Well, that's not nice.
I would just have a party because they were gone.
You make them the guest of honor.
Right.
I don't need to watch them suffer at all. I just don't want to see them at all. They're an abomination to everything that is amazing and magical and incredible about humanity. I'm disgusted with them. I'm disgusted that we have not taken them out yet. Right now, as far as I'm concerned, they have obviously, publicly, clearly, and Trump says this in the letter, they are guilty of treason. And it's obvious. And let's just, here we go.
Wow, Tank, you must live in a really high crime area. Those sirens are brutal.
All right, Dan, that's all you got, man.
They went away. All right.
Finally.
Yeah. Well, there is, I guess, a lot going on, and we're going to see it happen, in slow motion, but it's still happening, and I wish it was very fast, and maybe it picks up. I know that Barr was to give an interview. I don't know if that happened yet, but I feel that it's going to pick up the pace a bit here, right? We're going to see some things happening, but this impeachment stuff has to get out of the way, and then of course their next impeachment after this will start.
You know what? If they are allowed to do this again by anyone, then the whole government needs to go. They make another move or even a suggestion at impeachment again, and I swear I'm going to get 10 million people to storm the Capitol because all of them are useless.
Yeah.
Like, it has to stop. It has to stop. Get the military in. They lied under oath. They have violated their oath of office. This is an act of treason against the American people, and enough's enough. And, and I will bring charges against them.
Well,
if they are there, if there's any.
There's one thing. There's one thing about this, though, that I think that they're trying to break the Constitution. I think this is part of the plan. Also, is to make it dysfunctional. That's the same reason why I said they didn't appoint any judges, so the judicial side would break down. Right. So this is also causing the legislative side not to break down. It's diverting attention from other things, and they want to extend it on for a long time. So if Mitch McConnell closes it down quickly, they're just going to bring up, Trump colluded with Turkey, right? That's the next one. It's all queued up and ready to go, right? And so they're just going to have the next one after this, and then they'll do two at the same time, right?
Well, it's funny you say that because this morning when they were doing the impeachment, I was watching it, and they, all the Democrats, everybody got up and gave their spiel, and a lot of them are using the word, like you said, democracy, and they're also a lot of them are using, Constitution, even on that TV show we hate that word. And one of the Democrats that got up this morning actually said, he's like, our Constitution, there are a couple mistakes that need to be fixed. But when it comes to the whatever, I can't ever say that.
Quid pro quo. Yeah.
That one they did accurately, and we need to abide by it.
Really? That's in there?
What a moron! They don't even know what the Constitution says.
So he actually said that this morning on live TV. Yeah.
Yeah.
Between him and Schumer. Yeah, he's saying it's real.
Well, which one was it that said it?
I don't know.
Smallwell?
I didn't catch its name because they all got up, And
It sounds like a Smallwell.
I'll find it and I'll send it to you, Dan. I mean, I'll find it and you can play it tomorrow or whatever. But it was ridiculous.
Yeah. All right. Well, that sounds good. Well, then tomorrow we'll take it up. We'll come back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. You guys are without tape. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
All right, or some in the very near future. We got to bring Michelle on to actually break down some of these things on the Constitution, because it really is insane to me. How do you have government officials that don't know what's in the Constitution, or don't even care enough to look it up before they get up and speak? Anyways, that's all I got. Everybody.
Yeah, and I do have a question, which I'll ask you guys. I'll ask you tomorrow, but it's about the new driver's license law. I was reading to you earlier, Tank, but that's a whole nother show, I think. So, all right. Well, thank you guys. Sorry for interrupting.
No problem. Appreciate it. Thanks, Dan.
All
Lisa,
right.
have a great night.
Thank you, Dan. All right. Good night, guys.
All right. And be sure to subscribe. I missed it.